Om Shanti. Today's Murli is about yoga. And Baba today says, sweet children, pour the oil of yoga into the lamp of the soul, and the soul will become powerful. Pour the oil of yoga into the lamp of the soul, and the soul will become powerful. Now, whenever we say yoga, yoga means the communion of the soul with Baba. So, whenever the word yoga is used, yoga means in Hindi, yog means plus. So, when two things come together, and when we say yoga specifically, it is always when the soul comes together with the Supreme Soul. Atma Paramatma ka Milan, that is called yoga. But the interesting thing is, yoga, the word yoga has been used so extensively in the world. So in the world, there is so much confusion about what this word yoga means that people are really not having any clarity about it. And instead of just knowing that this is a connection that the soul has with the Supreme Soul, they think about many things as yoga. And Baba today says that the soul only needs yoga to become powerful. So today let's first explore what this yoga is. Now you see, yoga is not a technique. Yoga is, and Baba says, you can replace the word yoga with yad, remembrance. And we all do remembrance all the time. Yes, you remember someone or the other all the time. And if you ask somebody, they will tell you that sometimes it's not hard to remember, it's hard to forget. So some people, some things are so much in your remembrance that people are trying really hard to forget them. And that's not happening. And that's the cause of sorrow and misery. So we remember old memories, we remember people, we remember work, we remember things. There is so much of remembrance we do all day. And in a very crude way, we could say that whenever you are remembering someone or something, your intellect's yoga is connected with them. So you are having your intellect's yoga with them at that time, whenever you are remembering someone or something. And the way, so if you have yoga with someone or something, in that moment, your feelings and your state of mind correspond to the one you have yoga with. Yes, so let's say you have yoga with somebody who is sick, somebody who is not well physically or emotionally or mentally, any which way, they are not well. Then you remember them, you also start feeling unwell. Yes, you also start feeling the same. And so it also follows naturally that since Baba is the ocean of knowledge, he is the ocean of love, ocean of purity. If I, the soul, had yoga with Baba all the time, then I would feel like what Baba feels. And if I felt like Baba, if I acted out of those feelings, then I would become a deity very soon. So that's the whole method of yoga. But how do you shift this remembrance from where it is right now to Baba? This is the big question, because we remember people, places, and things naturally. We don't train ourselves to do that. Do you train yourself to do that? No, you naturally remember the physical world. And the physical world is on your mind all the time, and your buddhi is connected to the physical world all the time. So, how do you unplug your buddhi from the physical world and take it to Baba? That's the challenge, because we understand that if I remember Baba, then the soul, the light of the soul will sparkle. And what is the light of the soul? The light of the soul is knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. So, just like a lamp getting filled with oil, the soul will be filled with purity, peace, knowledge, love, which will make the light of the soul shine. This is quite understandable. Is it clear until now? Yes. So, if I am able to connect my yoga with Baba, then that's going to happen. But how do I do that? That's the question. How do I shift from remembrance of the physical world to the non physical, to the supreme? That's the challenge. Now, the first thing is, why do I remember the physical world so much? See, sometimes I'm pretty sure that the remembrance of the physical world is not serving me well. Yes, and there are many people who say, Didi, I want to forget this person, or I want to forget this happening that happened in the past, or I want to forget this one incident, but I'm not able to. So why do you think, why is it so difficult to forget the physical world? That's the first question we need to answer. And if we get that, then how to remember the non-physical will be very easy. So why do we remember the physical world? Because we are in physical consciousness. So I think I'm a part of matter. So, we have been raised with this idea that you are a part of matter. Yes, and then you see, there was this one brother who had come to the center. He had come for the first time. And then I said, what is your idea about yourself? So, who are you? So he said, Didi, I'm a very humble person, and I think humility is the greatest virtue. And it is very important to be humble. So I think about myself as a speck of dust who is going to merge into dust one day. Yes, people say ना मैं धूल का कण हूँ, मिट्टी में मिल जाना है. Yes, so he said, I think I am dust and I'm going to merge into dust one day, and that's why this keeps me sane and humble. So I said, okay, it might help you be humble, but then this is not the truth. And the truth is, you are a soul, you're not dust. And he said, how does it matter if I think I'm a soul or I'm dust? So I said, you see, you are a soul, and a soul is God's child. The God is called the Supreme Soul, Param Pita Paramatma. So he's your parent, and you are the child of the Param Pita Paramatma. And in that sense, you are very, very powerful. You are powerful, you are loveful, you are blissful. So just sticking to humility is not enough. So being humble and doing nothing, no, doing everything and staying humble. That's the idea. So just thinking that I'm nothing and nobody and I don't need to do anything, that's not enough. So you must know that you're the child of God. And that's why it's very important how you think about yourself. And in the world, we are trained to think about ourselves as a part of matter. We are trained to think about ourselves as a part of the physical world. I'm one of the physical world. And there is this person who came to me and it was very funny. He told me, so there was a mango on the table. So there was a whole basket of mangoes on the table. And then he said, so that is a mango and this is you. And then how will the mango become you? So I said, no, we are called Aam Admi. That doesn't mean I will become a mango or the mango will become me. So I don't think that's possible. So he said, no, no, you eat the mango and the mango becomes you. So I said, no, that's not how it works. I eat the mango becomes part of the body. It doesn't become me. I'm not a body, I'm not a mango. So and he was so he was so excited about his own example, I can't tell you. So he thought that he has discovered a very big formula through which he can become one with the whole world. So I said, so when you want to become one with everybody, you eat them up or what? So so is that the idea of oneness? So when you start eating everybody up, you become one with them or what? So, so these are the bizarre ideas with which we are operating. And I said, so if you want to become one with another person, you eat them up. So, so this is how we are operating, and it is very, very funny. So Baba says that you are not part of matter. So there are three things. There is matter, there is the soul, and there is the supreme soul. So, and these three entities are distinct, but we have started assuming that I am a part of matter, I am one among the five elements, or I'm a body made up of a combination of the five elements. So this is why with this body consciousness, with this physical consciousness, I am led to believe that everything in the physical world matters. And that's why remembering the physical has become natural, normal, and forgetting the physical world has become very, very difficult. Now, likewise, Baba says, and the truth of the time is, the physical world is in a state of degradation and chaos. It is in a state of degradation and chaos. So, if I have yoga with the physical world, then I am getting increasingly anxious and worried and hurt and concerned and fearful. And that's quite natural, because if I am having yoga with everything that is so uncertain, that then how can my state of mind be in a state of certainty and stability? Because I am working with this consciousness that I am part of the physical world. Now Baba says, the truth is, you are not a part of the physical world. You are living in the physical world right now, but you are a soul completely separate from the physical world. You are a soul distinct from the physical world. You are consciousness, you are an energy, an eternal, imperishable point of light. You are beyond birth and death. You are not a part of the physical world or the five elements of nature. You are the sixth element, and you're made of light, the light which consists of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. And then Baba says, you have your own world. So you have your own form, which is the form of light. You have a home, which is the home of souls, the soul world, the world of light and peace and purity. You have your own father, and your father is Sarva Shaktivan. Your parent is the Supreme Soul, God Himself. And as when God is your parent, and God is called the Almighty and the ocean of love, purity, peace, and you are His child, you're made in His image. And you see that we have heard this expression earlier also in Bhakti, that man is made in the image of God. But we thought God is a man and man is a man, and then we are physically alike. But no, God is a point of light, and the being is also a point of light, and God is an ocean of virtues, and I, His child, am also an embodiment of all virtues and powers. And Baba says that, you have a relationship with Baba. So you are His dear child, and He is your, so we sing this in Bhakti, Tumi ho mata pita, Tumi ho bandhu sakha, Tumi ho. So God is your parent, your friend, your brother, your sister, your beloved, your doctor, everything. God is your everyone and everything. So Baba says, once you start and you see that until Baba comes and gives his own introduction and then gives our introduction, that you are my child, we cannot recognize ourselves. And when we cannot recognize ourselves and we don't have a relationship with Baba, we don't recognize that I have a relationship with Baba, there cannot be yoga, because you cannot have a relationship with, you cannot have yoga with someone you don't have a relationship with. Yes. Can you remember anybody 24/7 if you don't have a relationship with them? That's not possible. And the thing is, when we are in physical consciousness, we always have a relationship with the physical world. We think I belong to this physical parent, I belong to this physical teacher, I belong to this physical job. So you always have a relationship with the physical world. And it is this sense of having a relationship which pulls you into being like them. So when you have a relationship with somebody, you always remember them. And when you always remember them, you become like them. Good or bad, if you remember somebody, you become like them. You remember somebody who's bitter all the time, what it makes you is bitter. Yes, you try that. Or don't try that, that's not a good idea. So, you remember somebody who is bitter all the time, you become bitter. So, and if you think you have a relationship with somebody who is bitter, then you cannot stop remembering them. So Baba says, now when you understand from Baba that Baba is the supreme, Baba is the ocean of virtues and powers and goodness and knowledge, and you are his child, then when you start seeing yourself as a soul and as God's child, then this sense of relationship with Baba will help you stay in his remembrance. And until and unless you feel there is a relationship, you cannot have remembrance. So yoga is not possible without this, this deep realization that you are a soul and a child of God. So it is not a technique, it is very much realization based. So when I realize I am not a part of the physical world, I'm a spiritual entity, I'm a soul, and all my relationships and all my attainments are from Baba. So another thing is, you remember the one with whom you have all your attainments. Yes, just like a businessman always remembers his customers. Yes, so you will remember the one you have a relationship with, and you will remember the one from whom you have an attainment. You get something from someone, you don't forget them. So Baba says again, when you think that you are a physical entity, you think that all your needs are physical. Yes, you think your need is lust, your need is the fulfillment of ego, you think your need is the fulfillment of greed. Yes, so you think that your needs will get fulfilled from the physical world, and that's why all those people and things and places that you think will fulfill your needs, you cannot get them off your mind. But once you realize you are a spiritual entity, you are a soul, and your needs are not physical, your needs are spiritual, your needs are the need for knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. And you have just programmed yourself to believe that these spiritual needs will get fulfilled through physical means. So, you ask anybody in the world, across religions, across nationalities, there have been surveys that have been conducted, and then people have been asked, what do you need? And then they say peace, love, and happiness. And then somehow we have thought that this need for the peace, love, and happiness will get fulfilled through people, places, and things. But Baba says that's not how it gets fulfilled. So Baba says, you are not a physical entity, you are a soul. Your needs are not physical, they are spiritual. And the source of your all attainments is Baba, because Baba is the ocean of true knowledge, true love, true happiness, and true peace, true power. So there is a difference between our idea of happiness and happiness. So we think pleasure is happiness, but pleasure is not happiness. Happiness is realization based. Happiness is what Baba is. Yes, Baba is happiness. Baba is the ocean of happiness. And Baba is ever happy. And in the world, people think that engaging in sensual pleasure is happiness, but that is so momentary and fleeting. But when you are knowledgeful, when you are in your spiritual state, you are happy. And happiness is very, very super sensuous. It is not sensuous. So Baba is the ocean of true knowledge, purity, true love, true happiness, true power. And then Baba says, when you realize that you are a spiritual entity with spiritual needs, and all your relationships and attainments are from Baba, then you will always have yoga with Baba. It's a very realizational thing. It's not something you can just practice without realizing. Yes, even after realizing, because we have been in body consciousness for so long, so many births, that realization will slip away many times. But Baba says, without realizing it, you cannot practice. So, this is why when we come to Baba, it's very important to understand that this is Baba and I am his child, and I am not this body, I am the soul sitting in the body, the one who has come from the soul world. And Baba has come from the soul world to take me back home and teach me and train me to go back to my original stage. So Baba says, and when you start feeling this connection and start staying in remembrance, then slowly you start transforming yourself into who you really are. And that's a very enlightened soul, a soul full of the light of virtues. Yes, so it's all about remembering ourselves, remembering Baba, or remembering Baba and coming back to realizing who we are. So this is what Baba is saying today in the Murli. And then Baba today also raises another important point, which is, unless there is power in the battery, you cannot imbibe knowledge. So, there is no dearth of knowledge in the world. And with WhatsApp, everybody is a Gyani. There are all Gyan groups these days. So, everybody is sending these full of Gyan messages, forget, don't forgive, this, that. So, there is a lot of knowledge about what you should do. So, what you should do and what you should not do is not a myth anymore. So everybody knows you shouldn't hate, you should love. Everybody knows that you should forgive, you shouldn't hold grievances. People know knowledge, and knowledge is not a secret. So when it comes to what you should do and what you shouldn't do, it's not a secret. But the method to imbibe that knowledge is a secret. Because although you know everything, you cannot do it when your consciousness is low. So when you think of yourself as ordinary and when you think of yourself as powerless, you cannot do that which is elevated and with that which is powerful. So Baba says, when you have yoga with Baba and you start seeing yourself as the child of the Almighty, the child of the all-powerful, then doing something will not be difficult for you. You will not speak words like, I cannot live with this person, or I cannot forget what happened in the past, or I cannot stop overthinking. Because it will, as soon as you think about this thing, it will make you feel miserable that why can't I do it? I am God's child anyway. So, and I think, this is my first-hand experience that when I came to Baba and I started thinking about myself as God's child and full of the virtues and powers that He has, then slowly, gradually, automatically there was this sense that there is nothing in the world that I'm not capable of. Whether it is physical, whether it is emotional, whether it is spiritual, whether it is anything, any work, any relationship. Why can't I make a relationship work? Don't I have enough love? Don't I have enough tolerance? It became like a question of dignity, When you know yourself, you know your dignity, then you don't like to speak that I can't do this. And you become very, very capable of stopping yourself from doing the wrong thing and and encouraging yourself to do the right thing. And then the do's and don'ts become a matter of ease. You don't find it difficult. And people say we can't stop our mind, but when you know who you are, you just tell your mind, don't go there, and it doesn't go there. You don't have to talk too much. You just tell your mind, don't go there. That's not where you go. And that's it. It stops going there. So when you realize who you are, then all your organs, all your sense organs, so the organs of the soul, the man, buddhi and sanskar, and the organs of the physical body, they start cooperating with you like a servant cooperates with a master. And they start listening to your orders. And that's an experience I have. So Baba says that when you are filled with the power of yoga, when you start seeing yourself as Baba's child, when you start realizing it, see, one thing is knowing it theoretically, and another thing is deliberating on it enough for it to convert into a deep knowing and experience. And more than that, a realization. And when that happens, then Baba says, points of knowledge, imbibing the points of knowledge will not be a challenge for you. You understand the power to tolerate, you can use the power to tolerate whenever you want, with whomever you want, however you want. So anything Baba will give you the knowledge about virtues, powers, do's, don'ts, everything. And then when you have yoga, you will have the exact, required strength to put that into practice. And then when you put knowledge into practice, it creates good karma. So when you create that good karma, then again it makes the soul very powerful. So then it becomes a virtuous cycle. It's a virtuous cycle where one thing feeds upon the other. So good yoga leads to imbibing knowledge, to good karma, to a powerful soul, again capable of good yoga. So it becomes a very virtuous cycle. Just like we have been stuck in the vicious cycle for so long, now there'll be a virtuous cycle. So this is something that Baba tells today. And then Baba today also talks about, people singing about God, that God is my father and mother. Yes, Mat Pita. But Baba says, when you say Mat Pita, and it is so interesting that the whole world talks about God, but nobody knows who He is, or you don't even think about knowing Him. So Baba says that Mat Pita means the mother is Brahma Baba and the father is Shiv Baba. And these are our spiritual Mat Pita. And you always say God is my Mat Pita. Paramatma is Mat Pita because Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba work together. And even when in bhakti, we don't know that Shiv Baba is a point of light, we show him as Shankar, we never talk about the birth of Shankar. Yes, when we celebrate Shivratri in Bhakti, we say that Shankar wedded Parvati on Shivratri. So who is Parvati? That Parvati is Brahma Baba. And when Shiv Baba comes, he doesn't take birth, he doesn't enter a womb. He enters the body of Brahma Baba, and Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba work together. So sometimes we have a Gyan quiz, and in that quiz there is a question. So who is the one who doesn't have a father? So that the answer is Shiv Baba. And who is the one who doesn't have a mother? The answer is Brahma Baba. Because even for Brahma Baba, Shiv Baba is there, yes, as a father, because he gets the inheritance. But the mother is associated with sustenance, palna. And you see, every child of Mat Pita, every child of Shiv Baba, Brahma Baba gets sustenance from Brahma Baba. Yes, we children come and we have a physical instrument also taking care of us. But Brahma Baba never had anybody to take care of him. Yes, Shiv Baba just entered his body and said, "You come with me and do my job." So just like husbands take wives for granted. So they both care for the children, but the husband doesn't care for the wife. So Shibaba also said, "Now you are the wife. We will together take care of the children, but you have to be like, you have to be in your power." So Brahma Baba never took sustenance. Brahma Baba got the inheritance from Shiv Baba. He will become Sri Krishna and Sri Narayan. That's another thing. So Brahma Baba has a father but not mother. And Shiv Baba has no father also because he doesn't need an inheritance. So Baba says that when we say Mat Pita, the mother is Brahma Baba and the father is Shiv Baba. And Baba says, if you don't know your spiritual parents, Parlokik Mat Pita, if you don't know them, then how will you know your spiritual identity? And Baba says this is why everybody is a soul, but they don't know their spiritual identity because the spiritual parents are not known and revealed. And when Baba, and then Ravan has confused us about everything, and he has told us that our physical identity is all there is. So there is no spiritual identity. And it's so interesting that the whole world is full of souls and nobody knows you are a soul and nobody knows the parent of the soul. So Baba says, when Ravan takes you away from Alpha, so the Alpha means Baba, the first one. So Ravan makes you forget Baba, and because you forget Baba, you forget your spiritual identity, you forget everything. And then when Baba comes, he he teaches you that you are God's child, and then you win over Ravan through this knowledge, because you can only supersede your physical identity if you stabilize yourself in your spiritual identity. And then Baba says that then this is the game changer. And then Baba says, if you don't know Baba, then knowing that you were a deity or something doesn't matter, because until and unless your consciousness is elevated, you cannot do the actions that will make you a deity again. So Baba says that if you don't know alpha, then beta, theta doesn't matter. So alpha means Baba, beta means the inheritance of Satyug, Badshahi. Alf means Allah and Be means Badshahi. So if you don't know alpha, if you don't know Baba, if you don't realize you are Baba's child, then even if you know that you were a deity and you can become a deity, you cannot do the actions that will make you a deity because you are in low consciousness. So Baba says this is why it is very important to understand Baba and also the act of God, because God is incorporeal and then he is sung as the mother and father because he does his act through Brahma Baba. So this is the gist of the Murli today. Go through it. The Murli is full of jewels. And another thing Baba says is, if you always remember Baba, then even your dreams will be full of happiness, joy, and you will think about meeting Baba in your dreams also. Now, I will just give a short, experience that once, Hansa Ben, who was taking care of Janki Dadiji, Once there was some visitor and Hansaben woke Dadi Janki from sleep. And as soon as Dadi Janki woke from sleep, she said, "Why did you wake me up? I was giving toli." So Dadi was giving toli in her dreams. So you see, we spend 6 hours or whatever in sleep every day. And if our consciousness through the day is elevated, then even in our dreams, we will earn good karma. Yes, so so even at the subconscious level, you will create a punya ka khata. But what you do consciously determines what you will do unconsciously also. So this is a very big law, and if I remember Shiv Baba for 18 hours a day, then the rest 6 hours will also be taken care of, and even my dreams will be full of good thoughts and good actions. Okay, Om Shanti.